Well, that was one way to get things started here this week for Anarchy. I tell you what, Najasism has never disappointed with being on fire and fast like lightning. Man, but I tell you, opening contest here this week, we've got Najasism, one half of the Anarchy Tag Team Championship, taking on, of course, Jon Williams, one half of the Washington Bullets. Other members are on the outside, respectively. Of course, this is called a captain's match.
That's right. This week, Najasism and Jon Williams representing their tag teams in this captain's match, as we are a week away from Hardcore Hell, where the Tag Team Championship will be on the line. The Movement, the team of Najasism and the Vandal, defending against the Washington Bullets. Jon Williams and Trey Williams standing out on the floor.
And what advantage does that have to give here this week if you're able to get a victory before you head into Hardcore Hell?
Well, it's that all-important momentum as Najasism goes out through the ropes.
I mean, he was almost hit our camera. I think he flew almost into the locker room area. And this guy, I tell you, just out of nowhere all the time.
And Trey Williams gets one just for standing out on the floor.
Well, I tell you what, you know, when Najasism does it, one thing about it, if he hits it, it's effective. If he misses, it could be a real, that's why they call it high risk. But he's so quick, he just hits you out of nowhere. You don't even have time to realize what's even happening to you. The Movement certainly have rised the ranks here in Anarchy to become the tag team champions. Done a great job of some of the competition, but one thing that's been a thorn in their side has been the Washington Bullets. And as we see here this week, of course, the captain's match, things could be just a little bit different, and they might not be going quite the way of Najasism and the Movement come Hardcore Hell.
A little bit of interference with the distraction of the referee. Najasism takes his mind off the match with Jon Williams and focuses on Trey out on the floor. Big mistake. Now he's caught up in the ropes.
Oh, and you see what's going on right here. He was pulling down on that leg. I know exactly what's going on. He's trying to incapacitate Najasism to make it easy pickings here for basically the tag team championship matchup at Hardcore Hell.
Well, if Najasism gets hurt here, he will only have 7 days going into Hardcore Hell to recover, to mend an injury. 7 days, the body will not heal itself in 7 days.
Yeah, we talked about, you know, getting a victory here this week, but more importantly, it's about the punishment that these men would love to be able to give, because obviously, you're exactly right. If they can injure one of the members of the Anarchy Tag Team Champions, then that certainly gives them a good opportunity, being the Washington Bullets, going in 7 days from now. And 7 days is not a long time for your body to heal.
Just a few weeks ago, when the Movement had their first Tag Team Championship match, or title defense, Andrew Pendleton III was sitting where you're sitting right now, and he made mention that it is so much harder to hold on to those titles than it is to win it, to keep those belts. Cornelia crowd here loves submission wrestling, and usually if a submission hold is applied, all you hear is tap, tap, tap. We're not getting that now that Najasism is in a hold.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
I guess maybe it's they don't like the ones they don't like to tap out.
That probably makes sense. And right now you got some words of encouragement being mentioned here from the outside from Trey Williams. He's trying to get his brother to really just put away Najasism now. But perhaps, again, as we mentioned, they may want to inflict a little bit more damage, and that's what he's doing right there to that leg. Double stomp all the way onto that leg. And normally at this point, Najasism would be trying to tag, but there's no one to tag.
His tag team partner is out here at ringside, but is not a part of the match.
I'm telling you, if I'm Najasism, I would almost have to, I'd rather have a count out or just leave the match, fight another day, keep those championships, because to me, those tag team championships are more important than this matchup here this week.
That's right, the tag team titles are not on the line. This is a singles match, a captain's match, a preview, if you will, for Hardcore Hell, where the tag team titles will be on the line.
Yeah, and speaking of preview, we saw a couple weeks ago, of course, we saw Team Elite taking on Team Anarchy, and week in and week out, the landscape here, the dynamic just changes as we head into Hardcore Hell, and we've got a big matchup here for our main event here this week.
You know, we thought coming in this was supposed to be Jagged Edge against Brian Casanova. Casanova's had a family emergency, is not able to be here. He's still working on that, and we wish his family well on that. However, who will be taking the place? Who will be in that spot that Casanova's supposed to be in this week against Jagged Edge? There's so much riding on that.
Well, we know that the winner's going to get the advantage for their team in War Games. And, of course, all the Elite and the Anarchy team members have been banned. So it's certainly going to be an interesting dynamic here this week. So important as we head into Hardcore Hell. And speaking of important, it's been very important here for this opening contest. Again, one half of the Washington Bullets taking on one half of the Movement. And really, for a good, I don't know, several minutes now, it's been pretty much all Jon Williams here.
Ever since Najasism got his knee caught in that middle rope, it has been all in the favor of Jon Williams of the Washington Bullets as he whips Najasism in. Reversal.
Not much Najasism really could do. He wanted to follow through with it, but the leg gave out.
He had no speed going in.
Oh!
Super kick.
Good grief.
But how much damage has that done to that already injured leg?
Well, he immediately goes and grabs that leg. He might have been just on desperation to do something here to try and turn the tide, but he is really grabbing onto that leg. And the punishment that has to have been inflicted on that, you have to wonder. Vandal on the outside are trying to get the crowd involved, and the other member of the Washington Bullets, Trey Williams, trying to pipe the crowd down. Don't think it's going to do much good here. Najasism able to catch him again.
Forearm. I don't know why Najasism would go with these leaping maneuvers that are going to put all that impact on that injured leg.
And he goes for it again. If I was Najasism, I really would try and go on the outside here and see if I could get a little bit of a rest, try and get some of that feeling back in the leg. He goes in and hooks the leg, only able to get a 2 count.
If he were to go out to the floor, he could have at least a 9-second rest period before being counted out.
And maybe that's what he's doing here. He was at least on his side with a Vandal, but wait a second, he's going to the middle rope here. Jon Williams catching him.
And again, Najasism's foot and knee are caught in the corner.
There must be like a rain cloud over that leg. Everything bad seems to keep happening to it. Najasism in a really good position here. Jon Williams takes a hard thud to the floor. Oh man, the frog splash.
Will it be enough?
And the leg again, he goes immediately to grab that leg. Now, you know, a wrestler's instinct is immediately going to go for the cover, so that just shows you the punishment that has to be involved with that leg for his immediate reaction to go for that leg.
Exactly. The pain of the impact of his knee hitting the canvas. And you can look as he's trying to walk, it's almost like his leg is contorted the wrong way.
And Najasism just really must want to win this match bad and set the stage for Hardcore Hell as they go in with hopefully a victory in his eyes. But again, the damage being done to that leg, I don't know how much it could come back to haunt them at Hardcore Hell. And again, another leg maneuver. Jon Williams cutting him off before he could even get any steam going. Najasism follows through. Oh, and again, he uses the leg. Oh, in a bad position here. And he may wish that he had just left for another day.
We could see a submission here.
I will not be surprised one bit. The hand is up in the air. It is almost coming down.
Don't risk the injury, Najasism. Tap. It's going to be better. The title isn't on the line. Nobody is going to feel bad if he taps here.
And he has got to be so thankful right now that he was able to get to that bottom rope, because even though this isn't a tag team match, the bottom rope still, of course, comes into play. The move had to be broken. And I can't even imagine if Najasism had been in the middle of that ring, how much longer the punishment could have gone. Able to springboard up. Impressive. That may have taken every ounce of energy left in Najasism, though. He is slowly sauntering his way over to try and make the pin. So much so that Jon Williams was able to get up. And the Vandal, I think, had seen enough on the outside from Trey Williams.
And the chase is on outside the ring. Vandal comes in. Referee Wes Grissom distracted.
Oh, bad position here. You got to be kidding me.
Turn around. Not like this.
No, don't do it this way. Oh, this makes me sick.
Your winner of the match, Jon Williams.